Hey everybody, it's Tanya here, and today is Tech Tuesday. It's one of our new favorites that we do on the weekdays. Thursday is our regular live stream for Stream Like a Boss TV. I am thrilled to have you here with me talking a little bit about some type of tech topic, and I get often asked questions about digital apps, software systems, you name it, because it's just kind of my jam. And I figure, you know what? I actually started this kind of on a whim just to answer a couple of questions that somebody had. And I thought, why don't I just make this regular? And if someone has questions, then I will use that to be the topic. So sometimes I don't know exactly what the topic is going to be, but I'm paying attention and listening for trends and to see what am I being asked the most. Now, I am Tanya Smith. I am a live stream marketing expert. And what I absolutely love to do on Thursdays is to talk about my show, Stream Like a Boss TV, where we help coaches, consultants, creators to really leverage live streaming, so live video, that is, to what we call convert crickets into cash. So instead of just having no audience, we take you from going from no audience to having an audience of leads, of community, of people who care about each other and encourage each other and ultimately become clients of yours. So I'm thrilled and excited and honored that I get to be in your space. Now, I'm on YouTube and Substack tonight. So those are my two spots that I'm hanging out. I'm taking a look real quick here over at my Substack folks. So I see some people over in the house. What's up, deal casters and Jim Banks? I am using Restream tonight, so I'm not going to be able to actually showcase your comments, but I can see you. I can see you. And so the hot topic for tonight is going to be Google Meet versus Zoom. Now, here's how this became a topic. And I'll be transparent because I don't know how to do anything but. One of the things that I've been looking into as we're making some shifts and changes in our household is to minimize subscriptions. So if you're somebody who's like, let me minimize subscriptions, I want you to raise your hand in the chat, like put a hand raise emoji in there, because we all are trying to budget balance, right? And so when you think about digital apps and software and all the things that we pay for each and every month, we need to be more responsible and accountable, not only to ourselves, but to the household, right? And so one of the things that I was looking at is, okay, what do I have where I'm kind of duplicating effort? I'm duplicating systems. What can I use in lieu of some of the things that I have? And look, to be honest with you, this is something I ask my clients to do all the time, is to audit. Sometimes we sit down together and audit each other's software. SaaS audits are important. And so I kind of did that for myself this time. I was practicing and modeling what I preach. And when I did that, I realized, okay, wait a minute now. Google, yeah, exactly, Dealcasters, scrape those subscriptions. One of the things that I recognize is that I had a lot of duplication. I won't say a lot, because I'm pretty good about not being a hoarder when it comes to SaaS. I mean, I make the most use of it. I'll go ahead and say that. But in this instance, I've been paying for Zoom and didn't realize that Google Meet had kind of up-leveled their game. And so tonight, what I want to do is show you some of the differences between the two. It may be a move for you or it may not. Okay. I'll be honest with you and kind of give you some of the things that I see that are wins. And then I'll see some things potentially that are maybe not so much a win. They're kind of a little bit of a disadvantage, because Zoom is still a contender when it comes to meeting platforms. But I just feel like there are probably some things that you don't know about Google Meet, because you haven't explored it, just like I hadn't. And when I took a look, I was like, wait, Oh, didn't know that was going on. Let me say hello to some of my folks that are over on YouTube as well. Let's see what we got going on here. And I'm going to give you a disclaimer because I've been noticing, thank you, hand waving. Yes, so you're with me on that? Yeah, we're using subscriptions that we want to try to minimize. Love it. One of the things that I will do is I'm going to open up my Google Meet screen, but I also wanted to give you this heads up. I've been having some resource issues, probably because I need to clean out some storage. Let's be honest. And so if my camera gets a little wonky, I might pull myself off of video for a little bit. I have 2 backups, so I may use those, but just giving you that heads up just in case. And you don't care about seeing me anyway. You want to see the screen and probably hear a little bit more about this Google Meet thing. So that's the focus of tonight is Google Meet versus Zoom. Let's talk about some of the features that maybe, I hate the word game changer. I'm so sick of hearing that word and using that word or phrase, that we'll use something else. We want to see if it is a differentiator for you. How about that? Because we can read, we can use other words and phrases. Yes, you used to love Google Meet. And see, I've never, tech troublemaker, also known as the Roy Richardson, I've never cared about Google Meet. I just haven't. I mean, the times that I did use it in the past, there were some things that I didn't love. And I'm going to talk about that too, because some things have changed. So let me say hello really quickly over here on my Substack team. We got Jim Bakes, we got Dealcasters, we got AH, we got Thaddeus Howes in the house, and Amber. So hi, hello, I'm here with you. If you have questions, whether you're watching on YouTube or Substack, I want you to pop those into the chat because I am paying attention and I will answer. I promise. But let's talk about Google Meet and let's talk about Zoom. Okay, now, before we do that, why is this important? It's important because you do want to take an inventory of what you already have. And the number one reason why I actually tested out Google Meet is because I already am paying for Google Workspace. So if any of you are using like the full suite of things, and I'm talking Gmail, I'm talking Google Drive, I'm talking Google Sheets, Google Docs, all of those things, if you're using them and you're paying for them anyway, then why not consider using the entire suite to the fullest? So that was kind of the question I was asking myself is, well, is Google Meet up to par now? So I'm going to show you. And Hangouts, Jim Banks put this out there, which is a good point. Hangouts on air were great, but Meet was substandard. You're so right. So I'm with him on that. I was not in love with Google Meet. It wasn't doing the thing for me. But I'm going to go ahead and show you something real quick here. And yes, I love this. So as a coach, you're using Google Meet with clients because it's simple. Yeah, right? People already have it on their phones. They don't have to go and install something else. But I'm going to show you some things I didn't love first about Google Meet, and I'll spend more time on Meet than I will on Zoom because a lot of you are already pretty familiar with Zoom, but I will help you make comparisons. So let's take a look. I'm going to pull up my screen real quick here. And since I'm using Restream, I'm having to do things a little bit slightly differently. So let's see what we got. And it's not even sharing. So let's try to share now. All right. So I want to pull up a bigger screen so that you can really see this. But this is Google Meet. And what you notice is that it's super simplistic. So let me give you a bigger screen so you can really see this just in case you're like me and have mature eyes, because you might. For some reason, it is giving me the blues right now, but I'm going to fix that for us real quick. Hold on. Yeah, it's making me do something else really quickly that I didn't want to do, but I'll do it. Okay, opening up the screen. We need bigger, we need better, we need that. We'll try it. We'll start here. Okay, there we go. That's what I wanted. Okay, here we are. So when you take a look at Google Meet, if you notice, It is very simplistic, very minimalistic is the word, I guess, right? It's a lot of white space here. And I'm going to tell you the things that I didn't love at first. What I did not love is the fact that initially, when you created a new meeting, you couldn't schedule for the future. Even though, and this is kind of dumb, right? Because Google Meet is a part of the suite and Google Calendar is a part of the suite. So you could go into Calendar and create a meeting, but there was no easy way to create a link that you could save for a future date until recently. So this is one of the little subtle things that they've done that I think has made it better is now you can actually create a meeting for later pretty easily in here and just share this link. Now, you also have the ability, of course, to start an instant meeting if you choose to do so, which is fine. And that's not any different than Zoom. But Zoom at the time when I was first looking at this gave us a lot more options. And it still, Zoom integrates with a whole lot more platforms than Google Meet does. Now, for the scheduling tool I use, because I use a tool called Traft, which is what I use for all of my meeting bookings, it does integrate with either Meet or Zoom. So instantly, when you're creating a new booking, and maybe I'll show you that if I have time, Traft, when it creates a new booking for me, it was easy for me to turn off the switch for Zoom and to turn on the switch for Google Meet because they did integrate. So it integrates with some things, but most of you know that a lot of the different tools out there have an instant connection with Zoom because Zoom has just done a great job of PR. They've done a great job of being the platform that is the go-to for meetings, for webinars, and for all kinds of things, right? Okay. So I didn't necessarily before love this, but now it has made it super simple for us to create any of these types of meetings that we choose. So we can schedule in Google Calendar from here, start an instant meeting, or create a meeting for later. That's one of the things that actually got me to think about trying this out again. Another thing is that you have the ability to actually be able to change layouts, which I'm going to show you in just a second when we go inside. But then you also have the capability of being able to connect with people through Google Meet from a call. Now, I think this was there before, and I still, even at this moment, don't see a purpose for this because I probably will just pick up the phone if I'm going to do that versus doing it this way, or I'm going to set up a Google Meet. But I think that this probably was one of the simpler ways that they made me say, okay, it's worth a try. Now, let me take a look at something else real quick. I'm going to open it up and we're just going to do an instant meeting. And then I'm going to point out a couple of other things to you as we go in here. Now, I want to go ahead and block off some of this stuff. And I'm going to choose a different camera. Let's choose, what should we choose? We'll just choose this really horrible camera. It's not great. This is my bad camera, okay? But notice how when I open this up, and I'm gonna go ahead and double check on some of these questions and comments in here too. Yes, it's all about you gotta do the tech audit, Greg, and you know, because I know you do a show as well on tech. And why are you laughing at my mature eyes, girl? Because yes, it's a thing. It's a real thing. Okay. So we're inside of Google Meet right now. Now I'm going to point out a couple of things, and I also have some notes because I wanted to make sure that I cover some of the more technical aspects of the differences here too. But what you'll notice is that it does give you pretty much like anything, the capability of being able to copy the link so that people can join and that type of thing, right? You still have the settings or the capability of being able to allow people to join in, you know, without you being there or to join in after you as the host are there. I know this might be messing with some of y'all, so I may go ahead and remove one camera and we'll just, that way you don't have to see me in stereo. Let me do that real fast on this one. Okay, there we go. So this is not my great camera. And that's okay, but we're using it for purposes of doing this demo. So one of the things that I think is really cool is this actually kind of puts me in mind of, I use a tool called Big Marker for my webinars. And Big Marker is an excellent space for really creating that whole webinar and workshop style experience. And so, again, much like Zoom, it has the reactions down here that give people the ability to be able to engage, quickly with emojis and that type of thing. It's telling me that my mic is muted, which that's intentional, right? So we don't have to hear ourselves in stereo. But additionally, it's got all of the same type of or similar type of controls at the bottom. So you'll see that it has your video space, it's got your microphones, it's got the screen share, it's got the emojis, which you can turn on or off. If you don't want reactions on, you can turn that off. It does also have closed captions. Now, one of the things that I actually like about this particular aspect of Google Meet, to me, because of the minimalist nature of it, I think it's really easy to navigate. It's easy to see where the controls are. Sometimes with Zoom, I get a little lost, and other people do too, because there are all these different sub menus. So I do like the simplicity of their control bar down here at the bottom, where you're not having to kind of scroll all the way across the screen or do sub menus. It's all right here. Whatever you can do as an attendee, you can do it right down here, right? Another thing that's kind of a little, I won't say it's a pet peeve of mine. I'll say it's one of those things that to me is a bonus, is the ability to actually leverage the skin tone color, the change. Okay. Because we're not all yellow. In fact, I don't know anybody that's banana yellow. So I do love from an inclusion standpoint that they do include that, and you can change it on yours. It's a nice to, it's not a have to. I know it, I get it, but I thought that was kind of neat. Now, over here on the far right is where you're going to have your controls as the administrator, okay? And so when you look at these controls and you look at the meeting details, you'll be able to see the join information. And I'm going to tell you some things you can't necessarily see here, but I will show you the end result of a recent meeting that I did with someone. And this was the thing that was a game changer, even though we hate that phrase. Okay, let me do this. This is a challenge for you. If anybody has a different phrase that you use in lieu of game changer, I want you to pop that new phrase into the chat. We all need ideas so we can tell AI, stop using that term. Just a sidebar. Okay. So looking over here, if you start clicking on these different things, it's going to show you the people. So if you have more than one person, those people will be right here. You'll see yourself, of course, as the contributor. If you're the facilitator of the event, you can add people using this function here. If you go here, you'll be able to see chats. Now, you have the ability to be able to turn off the feature of allowing people to send messages to each other, but basically, one of the things that I do like here that I've always found to be a pet peeve in Zoom is this. Notice that it says, and you may not be able to see this. Maybe, I don't know if I can blow it up too much without damaging. Yeah, I probably can't. So I'm just going to try to point to it right here. It says, you can pin a message to make it visible for people who join later. Hallelujah. Holy moly. Because I don't know about you, but when people join late in the Zoom, and when you're sharing links, like you're sharing this great Google Drive link or a link to whatever it is you want people to have, and then you have to reshare it like 3,000 times because every time somebody new comes in, they don't see the rest of the chat because you don't have that setting turned on. I love that they allow you to pin messages to the top without going through all of that. So that is a plus, another subtle plus or bonus. And then over here, so this is kind of neat too. So when you look into the feature add-ons, much like Zoom, y'all, and let's talk a little bit about Zoom and their integrations. Let's do that. I'm gonna switch for a minute here because I want to show you something or talk a little bit through this and get your thoughts on it. There is in my mind, there's a reason why I just like apps that work without me having to do a whole bunch of other stuff. Let me switch this up real fast. Here's what I'm talking about. The fact that I have to get another really good, strong meeting note taker like Fathom in Zoom kind of irritates me. I do love Fathom. Fathom.video, in case anybody's wondering. It's an excellent meeting note taker. Love it. And I know Zoom has AI companion. I know somebody out there is like, but you already have this. Okay, I hear what you're saying, but I don't love it. I don't love Zoom AI companion personally. I do love Fathom, and I love that it gives me notes in a way in which I want to see them. I love things that make things efficient and simple for me after the fact. So once we're done with the meeting. So I know that Zoom has a lot of different integrations and apps that you can add to it. Google seems to be trying to add to its feature add-ons. So its little mini library of add-ons is there. They're not great, but I don't necessarily need them because Google has Gemini AI Companion, which is a bomb. And I'm going to show you the results of what that looks like here shortly. But I'm going to go back and show you some of the little extras, as they say, that are in here. And again, it's not all hidden behind all these sub menus. It's pretty easy. You're clicking a tab and then you can see the add-on. So let's go back to it. I'll show you again where we were. Because, yeah, I mean, I like the idea of add-ons. I just want to keep it minimal and I want to make it easy for myself to get to what I need. And so specifically, one of the things that I'm going to talk about, not so much these, although I know some of you use Miro, which is like a whiteboard app. Okay. Figma is a video app. So if you're working with a team and you're working on video editing projects and things in Figma, I think this is a nice little addition. But they don't go overboard. They don't have 5,000 different apps to choose from. They do have a few. I don't know why they have the Read Meeting Note Taker anymore because, again, Google AI Companion or the Gemini AI Companion is great. Breakout rooms. You can easily, now watch how simple this is. When you go into breakout rooms, you can set up the breakout rooms and you can give it a timer without having to add another app. You can name them. You can very easily put people into various rooms, right? Now, you're going to want to think about this ahead of time. If you have, for instance, a class and you know you've had 30 people register and you want, I don't know, 5 rooms of 6 people, then you want to think about that ahead of time so that you can do this a few minutes before you actually start the call. But look how simple this is to create these breakout rooms. Now, with Google or Zoom, you can upload an Excel spreadsheet. I know there's other ways you can go about doing it and organizing, but I like the simplicity of the way that they're doing this here in in Google Meet. So, you might love it or hate it. It's up to you. I'm just showing you that it's there. Another thing that they have is the quick polls, which of course, again, Zoom has, but your best bet when creating those polls in Zoom is to create them beforehand using the settings and going into the Zoom on the browser and all of that other stuff, right? And these you can actually create pretty quickly on the fly. You can also give people a Q&A space where they can ask questions. So again, this to me mirrors a lot of the webinar apps that I've used. Now, Zoom, of course, has its own webinar platform. Yes, I know. But Zoom webinar is expensive. Can we be real about that? It's pricey. It's not cheap. So I don't find myself going to Zoom webinar personally because it's just not at my level. I don't need that. But I could indeed use Google Meet for that same purpose. If I didn't already have some really nice webinar tools, I probably would use Google Meet more for that. And then right here with the transcripts, you can start the transcription and transcribe the call. So lots of options here. Another thing right here, this is the magic that I wanted to show you. So right here at the upper right corner, there's a little wand. Let Gemini take notes for this meeting and also start transcription at the same time. So once it starts taking notes, what it's going to do, because it's connected to my Google Drive, is it will connect a new document inside of a folder in Google Drive. This document will be shared with the meeting host and the person who turned on notes. And then it starts taking the notes. So I want to show you an example of what that looks like. I'm going to have to go and find the one that I have for you so you can see it. But I really think that this is where, to me, Google Meet is shining. Another thing that I noticed the other day, for those of you who have started playing around with Google Meet, I don't know if you've seen this. Okay, this is a biggie. So take this note down so you can go check it. Zoom. I love Zoom. I do. Yes, I've left it, and maybe I'll go back to it someday. But when I logged into my Google Meet the other day and it said, "Hey, do you want to do 1080 pixels?" I was like, well, you know what? Surely I do. You mean I don't have to contact chat and ask support if they will please turn on HD quality? You mean all I have to do is say yes and you turn that on? Now, you can't really tell because of the cam I'm using on that particular monitor. I have kind of my old school cam. It's a C922 Pro that I have on that one. But if I were using another one, maybe I should switch over to another one so you can kind of see this better. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I'll switch over to a nicer cam, but 1080p quality, and you're not begging for it, that's a big win. Here's how I know this. Now, some of you may not know this, but have you ever been in Zoom and you realized you've been doing all these recordings with video and meetings, and you're like, hey, when I went back to look at the replay, it kind of sucked. Like the quality was not great. It looked like it was good while I was recording, but it wasn't great when it came out on the back end. It's because Zoom will cap you typically at 360 pixels unless you have sent in a request to Zoom support. And only if you have a paid account will you be able to get 720 pixels. If you have the business plan, which is the higher price plan, you can ask for 1080. I think it's the business plan. I could be wrong. If anybody knows for sure, pop that in the chat for me. But what I recognized is this is cool. It's not a game changer. It's a what? Let me see if anybody is giving me some replacements. Let me see if anybody's giving me some. Yeah, I agree, Greg. It's super expensive for no doggone reason. Yeah, okay. So I see some people who are not necessarily fans of Zoom. Okay, so here's the thing. What I'm realizing is I love the simplicity of the built-in features that Google Meet is starting to offer. The fact that they are letting us just instantly have the 1080 pixels means to me that they're serious about updating and making sure that we have a better experience, right? Because with Zoom, 720 is going to be the cap unless you decide you want to spend some extra duckies, right? And most of the time, we don't need to do that because it's a small group of people on these meetings, and we don't necessarily want to have to upgrade just because we want better quality. So I like that they have incorporated that into the space. I'm trying to see if there's any questions out here. And I'm also going to do something real fast. I'm going to switch my camera and I'm going to move to another monitor for you for, let's see if we can do that. I got to be careful and not mess up the resource thing, right? Or else I'm going to give you crappy quality. Okay, I think you'll be able to see that the 1080 is working in just a second when I share my screen again. Okay. Yeah, 24-hour boss. I'm not telling you not to consider Zoom because I have used Zoom successfully for quite a while, for many years, right? I've been paying them. And I'm at the point now when it comes to a lot of apps that I pay monthly. Even if annual is cheaper, I pay monthly for a lot of apps because I want the ability to be able to take my bags and go in all things, social platforms included, right? I want to be able to pick up and go and not be disrupted. And so if I'm using, I've been using monthly Zoom for a long time, and I've not had issues with it necessarily. There's a lot of updates, which is fine because we want it to stay updated. But I do like the option of using Google Meet where I don't have to pay anything extra because it's already included in my workspace account, my subscription there. I love the 1080p. I love the simplicity of use and how people are easily able to find what they need. I don't have to walk them through 1,000 different sub menus in order to access the control they want. There are some things, some perks to using Google Meet, I think. Let's see. Let me look through. Okay, there's a question here. So let me pop that up. What about Google Meet for webinars? I think that you could use Google Meet for webinars. So I think I kind of suggested that a little bit, but I do think that it is possible. And let me show you some of the key things that I would use in my webinar app, right? 24-hour boss, that's a good question. Is there a certain plan that gives you 1080p? I can tell you the plan I'm on, and we can check it together in just a second. How about that? We'll do that. Because I actually asked Gemini too to tell me what's up. Like, hey, what are some of the differences that you know since Gemini is owned by Google? And I got a listing of some things that I can walk through with all of you as well. Let's see what else we got here. Nothing worse than an expensive smack in the mouth rebill for something you forgot you had. I know, right, Jim? Ain't it the truth? April, good to see you. Jim, Rosie, Batista in the house, Dr. Zay, Clark, 𝐊𝐿𝐿, hey, what's up? Sean, good to see you too. Okay, so let's take a look. That ought to be neat to try out. I know, right? I think it would be worth it trying out for a webinar. So let's go back over to Google Meet and let's show you why I think that this could be easily useful for a webinar. I really think it could easily be done. I should have had somebody. I should have had somebody log in with me, but just for sake of time, I'm not going to mess with that right now. Okay, so I'm going to switch us back over into. I know, right? Yay, thank you. Next level move. We're also, while we're talking about Zoom versus Google Meet, y'all, we're finding ways to help other people to stop using Game Changer, including me. So thank you. Okay, so let me switch over to screen share one more time, and let's see what we got over here. All right. That's not the screen I want to share. So we're going to switch, stop screen sharing, and we're going to switch it over to a tab. Yes, that's the one. Okay. All right. And then we're going to make this bigger and me smaller. I think I might want to use, hold on, y'all. I'm having to finagle a couple of things because I'm doing everything a little bit differently tonight. So just give me a second. Bear with me. Isn't that what they say? Bear with me for a second. Okay. So I'm going to switch to a different or replace the screen share real fast. Come on, give me the option here. There we go. Start that. Okay. Can y'all hear me right now? Because that is so weird. And now I'm on twice. Okay. Let's try this. I'm gonna try to switch on yeah, I'm hearing myself 2 times. There we go. Yes, you can hear me. Hallelujah. Goodness. Okay, I'm gonna try it now. I had to switch this is so weird. This is a weird thing. Now look, I don't have freak out moments because this is not life or death, y'all. It's really not. But I was a little irritated and annoyed. Can you hear me right now? Hopefully you can. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can, or give me some type of indication. I'm switching over to a whole other backup and I'm going to double check my chat real fast. You hear me, tech troublemaker? Thank you. So here's what happened in case this ever happens to you. I was on Restream, and let me check on my Substack people to make sure I haven't lost them too. I was on Restream and I ended up having to open up a whole other window. Like I can see everything, but I could not see myself on video and you couldn't hear me. Okay, you can hear me now. Thank you. I don't know what the heck happened. That was the oddest thing. Now, the other thing I'm noticing is I can't find the window for my Substack people. So let me see if I can find y'all too. Woo, Lord, there's a lot of juggling going on. Okay, maybe that just means that this is so good. I don't know what the heck it means. Really, in real life, I don't know what it means. But I'm going to try to find my Substack folks in a second. Now, let me try to wrap up and talk a little bit about because I was experimenting, and that's probably what messed the thing up, right? I was experimenting with this whole idea of showing you what the inside of Google Meet looks like and why it could be a good option for webinars. And I still think that it can. Okay. But I'm going to go ahead and exit out of the call so I don't get booted again. I'm going to exit out of the Google Meet and we'll just talk through some of the other things that I want you to try out on your own. Additionally, I'm going to check one more window. Yeah, Greg, I mean, when I say I'm not bothered, I'm bothered because I don't want the experience to be bad for you all. But this is something that does happen. I've been doing this long enough to know that if something can go wrong, right? Okay. So we know how to finish that up. All right. And I see my folks on Substack. Yay. Okay, folks, thank you for being there and sticking it out with me. Darn it. Okay. All right. Let's get out of that. Mute ourselves there. But I'm back in Substack and on YouTube. Okay. Recover like a boss. Let me put that up. Exactly. Right. Okay. So I did something. It's user error, y'all. It's not their fault. I had too many windows up and I was juggling way too much and it just broke. I broke the system. It's all good. Okay. Back to what we were talking about. So webinars, I think webinars, easy peasy in something like Google Meet, but you could easily do those in Zoom as well, right? Because people know Zoom. They just know it. Most people have it installed. And even if you don't have it installed, they can use it with the web browser, right? So either one of those could work well, I think, for a webinar, but I like the simplicity of Google Meet. So I showed you what that looks like. I like that it's going to be easy, not only for you to navigate as a host, but also for your audience members to be able to figure out what they need. Oh, what we were playing with, what I was about to play with when you couldn't hear me is this. There's something new in there. I'm afraid to turn it on because it might just blow us out of the water for the rest of the time. But it allows you to generate backgrounds. Like I was right there getting ready to type in a scene that I wanted to create. Now, for my stream bosses, we have been talking about this in our co-working spaces, and this may be something that matters to you all too. I've been using something called GoBrunch for a very long time. GoBrunch is an amazing tool. It's great. We have had some issues with it, particularly when people are logging in from a mobile device, right? And so we've been talking with Richard about that. But one of the main reasons why I like GoBrunch so much is because of the experience that we get to create. And I'm all about creating a unique experience for the people who are in my spaces where I play. And so that means if I want to create a jazz club scene, if I want to create a spa room, if I want to create, anything that I want to create, I could do that using the tools that are at my disposal, including GoBrunch. So here's why I think that this is a great move for Google Meet. And I don't know that Zoom has this. As a matter of fact, the last time I used Zoom, which was just about a month ago, they did not have it. So maybe for those of you who are current Zoom users, you need to check and see if this is there. Yes, Educated Natural loves it too. Check this out. Zoom backgrounds, you can use what they have included, but you can't create right on the fly. You can't create a background. So I don't know if you noticed that, but in my Google Meet screen, there was an option to generate a background. Maybe closer to the end, we'll pull it back up. That way, if it goes dead, you can just see what I'm talking about. So it has filters and effects and all of that kind of stuff where you can add, little fun crowns and animated type of stuff. But the fact that it allows you to generate a background, what it was allowing me to do is to put a description of what I wanted to create, the room that I wanted to create. Now, here's what you have to be careful about with that kind of stuff. I'm sure the same aspect of green screens and all of that stuff applies there as it would with anything. I've always cautioned my clients to be really careful that you have solid, smooth, all around good lighting if you're going to be using effects like that. And so it probably still applies, even though we can't play with it right now. I'll play with it offline and see if I can tape it for you or record it and send that to you via YouTube or something. But if you generate a background and you're still there, the whole wavy thing where parts of your body are going in and out, we don't want that. That's not a good look and it's distracting from your message. So if you do turn that on and play with it, just make sure you have really good lighting that's lighting up the entire space. And that way it's going to give you a smoother result. I wish we could play with it. We'll try it a little later. Okay. So I noticed that was there and that's new. And that's the thing. The other thing about Google Meet is that we know Google is in the throes of trying to make sure that they stay ahead of the game with AI. So my thought is they're probably going to have a lot more features coming. They're fast and furious right now with all the things that are being added. We know about VO3. I don't know if any of you have noticed. I did a VO3 clip the other day and shared it. The message was about creating your own table. And I had VO3 create a scene where an African American woman was working on a table and she had, partners with her at the table. And then other people were standing around and it was in an open square and the table was beautifully wooden carved and it had the word "stream like a boss" on it. Right. So I gave VO3 all of that information and it created a really quick, like 8-second video that was awesome. And people were raving about it. Like, where'd you get that? So when I say that Google is on top of their game, they're rapidly moving. The pace is sped up for everyone right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's more cool stuff coming from AI. From Google as it relates to the whole Google Meet space. This is the one thing I wanted to show you. I'm going to try to go to my drive. This should not mess us up. Famous last words. Hold on. I'm going to try to find these meeting notes. Hold on if I can get them because I think that this is super cool, right? So remember how I was showing you that you could turn on Gemini AI Companion inside of your Google Meet. So when you do that, let me see if I can find them. When you do that, what's going to happen is it's going to provide you with a document that it's going to send you by email. That's what I want to pull up for you. And I'm trying to pull it up, and then I will screen share it and hopefully not miss a thing, miss a beat. But I just thought this was amazing. So remember I was telling you that I love Fathom? Okay, I found it. I love Fathom because Fathom as a note taker is amazing. It allows you to really create your own prompts. So what I do for my clients, for instance, when I'm working with coaching clients and I was using Fathom Video, what I would do is I would create this prompt around what's called the GROW formula. And for those of you who are coaches, I've been coaching for like 20 years. So this is a formula that I love, format that I love to produce the meeting notes from. Okay, so it's your goal, what's the reality right now, what are opportunities, and then what will you do next, right? And so I created coaching prompts like that one that can work with the information that it's getting from the meeting as it's recording us, and then spit it out in that, with that output, because that's an easy format for us to both remember and for them to really know, here's my next steps, my action steps, right? So that was just one example of what I loved about it. But I'm going to show you, because Fathom is another subscription fee. If you want to get the goods, like you want to do the custom prompts, you have to pay per month or per year. So going back to what we said, y'all, if the goal is, and the end game is that we're going to consolidate some of these subscriptions, that was one that was a nice two, because Google Meet has Gemini AI Companion. So check this out. Let me show you. And I'm just praying, y'all, everybody just kind of do this, that we don't lose sound or anything. I'm going to try to switch over and share my screen again. And let's just hope and pray that we stay. Okay, I think I'm still here. Eh. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talk about butter, Mark Warren. I have not experienced butter, so I can't compare it. But I think that a lot of people seem to like butter. But here, I'm going to show you this real quick. Okay, so this is from our training day the other day that we do in Stream Bosses Academy. Y'all are missing out. I'm just saying. Let me blow this up really big. Hold on. And I'm going to turn this on. Okay. Hopefully you can still hear me. Okay, I think so. All right. So check this out. After we got done, we were in Google Meet, right? And in Google Meet, I clicked on that button that was at the upper right corner that looks like a magic wand, remember? And I said, yes, take notes for me and transcribe this thing. So what it then did is it sent me an email along with all the attachments in one place. And now I get to do this with all my clients, y'all. So it's giving me all of these in one fell swoop, the chat transcript, the recording, it even took meeting attendance so that I know who was physically there. And here's my notes. So watch this. If I open the meeting notes, it's going to go into Google Drive, and it has a whole folder that has all the information about our core content, tips. Hey, we were talking about Substack, y'all. What? And then suggested next steps for us to follow. So it's got it all in here. Additionally, it's got the recording. It's got all of this in one simple email. I didn't have to do anything. After the meeting was done, it just sent me this. And I was like, wow, that's efficiency. I like it. Let's go with that. So when I tell you that Meet is something to look into, I'm not saying that you should drop your Zoom, because that might not be the thing for you. But I will tell you, I have not regretted it so far. I really have enjoyed and appreciated getting to know Google Meet again. And yeah, I just hope that they get some additional integrations. But even if they don't, I still think it is pretty much it's been a really good move for me. A really good move. Let me check and see if we've got questions popping off in here. Is anybody from Substack having some questions or need some information on anything I've talked about? Let me switch over here and see you all. I like Go Brunch, but it can be buggy, Sean said. Yep, and that's one of the reasons why we decided to take a look at using Google Meet for this next round. But I know that Richard and his team are working on some things as well, because I do love the option of creating these really neat experiences and making it something that is your own, right? I love that. Yeah, Alicia says Google Workspace is solid. Dr. Stacy Moore over in Substack says it's solid. So look, if those two are saying it, you didn't even have to listen to me. Yep, my screen is reversed, Rosie, because I ain't messing with nothing else and breaking anything right now because it's a hot mess over here. It's been that kind of week with tech. I don't know what's going on. Let's see. AI transcripts is definitely a big deal for many reasons. Totally agree. And again, whereas I would have been paying for Fathom plus Zoom, plus I'm already paying for Google Workspace. Now I'm like, oh, I'm going to just continue to pay for my Google Workspace and call it a day. Like, it's got all the things in there. Let's see. Somebody had asked the question about pricing. So I don't know what the pricing is, and we need to just find out. I can tell you which plan I'm on, and I don't know how different the Google Workspace plans might be in terms of what comes with it. So let's pull that up and explore it a little bit and see. Let's see. We got this screen right here. Okay, so starter. Okay. And I believe that this is the case too. When I pulled up some comparisons and I looked at what's the difference, if you have a free plan, the free plan for Google Meet allows you, I think, 100 participants as well. But this starter plan for $7, it gives you Drive, it gives you business email, Gemini AI Assistant is included in your Gmail, Gemini app, you can chat, video meetings, 100 participants, and then you have security and management controls. Okay, so the difference between this one and the standard, with the standard at $14 a month, it allows you to have access to Notebook LM, which we all are loving. If you are not loving Notebook LM, we need to do another call about that, y'all. Okay, Notebook LM is included. You can have 150 participants. It doesn't tell us, and this was one of the questions that somebody had, it doesn't tell us if the HD quality is included in starter. I have standard. No, I have plus. I have the plus plan right now because I needed more storage. But the standard could potentially be sufficient. We just need to figure out, which I'm thinking they would say if it wasn't included in here. But the 1080p, I don't know if it's automatically included in the starter plan. That's something you'd have to test, okay? We can certainly ask, but I don't know if I'll get an answer that quickly. So this also includes recording. So that means the $7 plan doesn't allow you to record your meetings. So I think that the standard would probably be a good starting point if you're considering it. But again, this is because Workspace includes all of these things. For $14 a month, dang, that's less than what you're probably spending for Zoom. And that Zoom is just one app. I'm just saying, y'all, let's be real. Let's be realistic. So it's something for you to think about. If you're budget conscious, if you're thinking about how to manage your subscriptions and all of that, this could be worthwhile. And I use everything Google anyway. So it just made sense for me. Appointment booking pages. If anybody doesn't know what appointment booking pages look like, I'll show you. Let me try to I'm gonna go back over here for a second and I'll try to pull one up because this is a gem as well. And I know we're going to focus primarily on Meet since we're talking about that, but I want to show you something in Calendar. I just need to be careful. I'm not showing anybody's personal business in here. So let me turn a couple of things off real fast so you can't see all of that. There. Okay. Let me do this. I'm going to open up my appointment schedule. So because I have a higher plan, not the $7 plan, but it looks like it's available if you do and up, the $14 and up, I'm going to show you one of the things that I do. Okay. I'll show it to you. And I don't think I should have anybody's personal stuff on screen. So we should be okay now. Okay. Check this out. Okay. So one of the things that I do when I'm actually booking, when I have guests, it's through a whole different booking app called Traft, okay? But sometimes people need an interview run through. If we're doing a live with someone who's not quite familiar with using eCam and some of the other stuff I use, and they want to do a personal run through, I have created a little calendar that I give myself space on my general Google Calendar for, and I've created a booking page, okay? So here's what a booking page allows you to do. It allows you to be able to create a booking page, a page that is specific to a purpose. And for me, it's just my 15-minute little run through so people can grab it at any time, right? So anytime these are available. So what you can do is you can say, these are the times of day that I want you to make sure I have no conflicts, and you can offer this to the potential person. And by offering, I mean you can share this link. So what I've done with my guests is they have the normal, the Traft booking system is the main system. But when I'm sending them reminder emails or the confirmation email, I also embed this link to the booking page to say, look, if you want to set up a time to just do a quick run through so we can test your system and make sure everything is up and running before we actually have your go live date, just click in here and book any of these times, because this is more flexible. Whereas my Traft calendar is very specific to when the only times that I actually want to do live streams and video podcast recordings. And so I use this booking calendar for that. But you could literally just say, hey, I'm doing a book club or I'm doing a whatever, right? And you can create your own booking page in Google Calendar. And what it will do is it will ask you, well, what do you want to use as your space for where we meet? And you can say, hey, I want it to be Google Meet, or I want it to be something else if you're using Zoom. But I like that you're able to do all of this. You can even embed these booking pages now. So just in case, I thought I'd throw that out there as a little bonus in case anybody didn't know that that exists. But that's another little hidden feature in your Google Workspace that can be useful for a whole lot of reasons, right? Because it can be separate from your normal. My system has like 500 reminders. And that particular system, it just gives them whatever I set up for those individual appointments. So it just makes things simple and easy as kind of a backup. But it literally could just become your booking system if you once again are trying to consolidate your subscriptions and not have 5,000 subscriptions everywhere. Okay. So I'm going to check one last thing before we get ready to close out. And that is, I had made a listing through Gemini of what the main differences are between Zoom and Google Meet. Okay. Yeah. So Calendar, I don't know that one. I use, here, I'm going to show you my Traft booking calendar so you can see what this looks like, Fatima. And I love it because these are customizable. Google is going to be super simple, right? It's not going to have bells and whistles at all. Okay, Dr. Vibe. Yes. It's not going to have bells and whistles. It's going to be real simple and plain, but it can be sufficient depending on what you need it for, which is why I only use it for that purpose, right? So my true booking system is this one right here that has a bunch of other things. It's totally customizable. It's totally brandable. When people are ready to set up, for instance, a coffee chat, if they go to coffeewithtanya.com, it's going to take them in here to my coffee chat time and we'll get together and they can pick. So this is like a more complex setup, right? They can choose the number of people. So all of this, no, is not going to come with your standard Google booking page. This is something you get what you pay for type of thing, that whole phrase, right? So this one is definitely a different type of scheduling system. And I don't know if your calendar is similar to this, but for professional meetings and when I'm really trying to go deep, yep, I don't Roy said, I don't need bells, only whistles. Yeah, I mean, I want you to have options. So Traft still is my go-to. This is the one I recommend to most people, and it does integrate directly with Google Meet. And it sends out very customizable emails and even text message reminders to folks that are meeting with me. But the Google online booking calendar is not going to do that. Yeah, it's going to be super simple. So there's I think there are a lot of really good features with Google that I'm going to continue to dig deeper into because I suspect that they're going to come out with even more things that all integrate with each other. And, just like with any platform, with any of those big businesses, they want us to use all of the things in their ecosystem. And I don't know, that's a little scary, but at the same time, it can make for some convenience, right? It can make for some efficiency. So there's a trade-off. But I suggest you take a look at Google Meet. Now, let me take a look at this real quick list and I'll go through it really fast with us since we're at the top of the hour. And I know a couple of you have your own shows to do. Alessia, you have a show coming up tonight that I want to try to catch a little bit of. Okay, so integration and ecosystem. Google Meet seamlessly integrates with Workspace, Calendar, all of that stuff. We already talked about that. Yes, you can schedule meetings directly from Google Calendar using Google Meet. We knew that. Zoom, while it has integrations, it's more of a standalone platform. That's true. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make it bad. It just has expanded beyond video conferencing to offer other services. They are trying to compete almost like they have the mail and calendar and team chat and docs in Zoom now. But I couldn't quite get myself to use those. I just didn't leverage them the same way I do as Google Workspace. Let's see, user experiences. That was another pro and con or comparison. Google Meet, generally considered more simple and user friendly. Agree, because of the design, right? It can often be joined directly in a web browser without needing to download a separate app. That is a plus. It sure is. Zoom, while also user friendly, that can be questioned sometimes, often requires a quick app download for full functionality on desktop. True. But it does offer more advanced customization options during meeting setup. Also true. So if you need the more advanced setup, then Zoom is probably for you. If you want something super simple and you're meeting with small groups under 100, I think Google Meet could be your thing. It could be an option for you to look into. Let's see, meeting capacity and duration. Google Meet allows up to 100 participants for that $7. And if they have a free plan, 100 participants for up to 1 hour. One-on-one calls have no limit, no time limit. Zoom, the free plan, allows you up to 100 participants for a 40-minute limit. Okay. So kind of similar in nature when it comes to that, except for the one-on-one calls, no limit. That's awesome for Google Meet. Let's see, host controls. No, Zoom is known for more comprehensive and advanced host management features. This includes more granular controls over participants, waiting rooms. Yes, I do like the waiting room feature where you can have your own video and you can just, again, create an experience for people. That is not, to my knowledge, available, at least not yet, in Google Meet. Let's see. Chat functionality. Zoom allows for private messages to individuals during meetings and supports GIFs through the Giphy integration. Users can also upload custom emojis. I haven't seen a lot of people use that in Zoom. Google Meet primarily offers public chat that's visible to everyone in the call. New users cannot see chat messages sent before they joined. That's not true because we just saw that they allow you to pin. If you needed to pin a message to the top, you can do that, which I will be using. Trust, because I like it. If there's anything that is sounding like a plus for you, I'm just curious. Let me know in the chat if you think you might be using Google Meet at some point. If you want to test it out because you've heard us talk about it tonight, I'd be curious. And I see a question on Substack. Rosie said, do you have anybody complaining that you're using Google instead of Zoom and not knowing how to operate it? Nope. I haven't had that yet. Just like you and I met the other day and you were like, wow, this is a cool experience. That's all I keep hearing is people are like, what are we on? Oh, we're just on Google. Right. So it's been pretty simple. I haven't had people complaining at all about the difference. Not at all. Greg is going to test it out. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Tech troublemaker. I need to come by. I'm going to stop by. Both of you. I need to come by and check you out. Okay. Yes, you're going to try it out, Roy. Okay. Controls are very similar. Yeah. I don't think the learning curve is going to be huge at all. So if you're considering it, by all means, now you know it's an option. Now you know if you decided to ever leave Zoom, there is an option there for you, right? There's something there for you. Both of them do offer AI assistance. That was one of the final notes. So both of them can provide automated meeting recaps, take real-time notes, etc. But I honestly just prefer the way that Google just bundled it up like a nice little package for me and sent me the email with all the things in it. And it was really simple to go through and find what I needed. And it instantly created a little subfolder in my Google Drive where I could find everything I needed for those meetings and recordings. Love. So here's the summary. Google Meet, if you already are heavily invested in the Google Workspace ecosystem, if you prefer simpler and more integrated user experience, and if you need a reliable solution for smaller to medium-sized meetings. Zoom, if you need more advanced features and customization, comprehensive host controls, the ability to accommodate very large meetings or webinars, and you're willing to invest in that. And if you prefer a platform with a wider range of integrations and a dedicated focus on video conferencing and collab beyond just meetings. That's what they're saying about Zoom. And I pretty much agree, right? But for the most part, for a meeting platform specifically, I think Google Meet could be the bomb. I do. And I think it could be useful for smaller webinars under 100 people too. I do. I can see it. Now, I still love webinar platforms for webinars. That's my personal take on it because you have the whole registration process and all of those things are built in. I use Webinar Jam, and then I also have one called Big Marker, which is my favorite. So Big Marker allows you to do all the things, and it even has a meeting space, but it's just not, I don't love the meeting space like I do Google Meet. Okay. All right. You're so very welcome. Do I have a link for the trap scheduling tool? Oh, Traft. I seriously like that. Yes, I do. Let me get you that. Traft has been awesome. I'm going to see real quick if they're on Sumo Day. Nobody asked me about any Sumo Day stuff this year. I'm so surprised, but it's okay. I understand. Yeah, they're sold out on AppSumo, which is not a problem. But I will pop you the link for Traft. It's TRAFFT. It literally has been my go-to for a while now, and I love it. So if you're interested in testing it out, let me pop up my, I'll give you my QR code real fast so that you have it because it's been pretty cool. Let's see, Traft. I wish you could have gotten the lifetime deal. If they ever do come back, I definitely will review them. So look up there. You'll see it in the upper corner. That is my Traft link, and it will take you directly to Traft. It is an amazing tool. It's great for booking just about anything. And now I've got to integrate it with Google Meet. But you can also use Zoom if that's what you choose to, or your own unique link to a room. So when I'm booking people to be on Ecamm Live, I just enter my Ecamm Live, join the live stream link as a location. You can have multiple team members on there. It's all kinds of stuff. So one day we can talk about that one. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Yep, it's not Greg. It's gone. Yeah, I checked it out. No problem. I'm so glad that I got a chance to take a look at it. I apologize for the technical difficulties. We made it through, y'all. Whew, we survived. It was kind of a mess, but we made it through. Okay. And I'll try to edit that piece out for those who are watching the replay on Substack. Okay. I scanned through to see if I see any other questions in both spaces. I think we are good to go. I hope that you all have an amazing. Oh, wait, there's some stuff over here on. Rosie doesn't know about Notebook LM. Okay, I have to do a Tech Tuesday talking about Notebook LM, but I think I'm going to bring in an expert. She knows who she is because she's in here answering questions. I'm going to bring in another expert that can talk with me about Notebook LM for a Tuesday Tech Day. I think that would be fun. Okay. Awesome. I think she's giving me some hearts because she knows I'm talking about her. Okay. Wonderful. All righty, folks. I have really appreciated you being here and spending the time and especially hanging out with me even when we disconnected and went on mute and then went just completely off screen. You hung in there. And that says something. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. And I hope that you have an amazing week. I will not be live. Let me go ahead and give you that heads up. I will not be live on Thursday. Good. Dr. Vibe. Yay. Yay, yay, yay. So I'm glad. Yeah. If you can get that deal, that would be awesome. Yes, we did survive. Roy, I know, right? Crazy. It is the bomb. It is. It does so many things. I'm going to be using that a lot more here in the very near future. Okay, that's it. Because I need to go and visit some other folks who are doing some streams and show some support and love. Thank you again for spending time. I won't be here Thursday because I will be attending a local event with the Dames, which is my crew here, my all women boss crew in the Dallas area. And so I'm going to be there on Thursday and we hang out. So I will miss you on Thursday. I may have a little replay of something that I can share, but we'll see what we do. We have to take 1 week off at least a month. So this will be my Thursday that I take off. But, I'll see you in the future Thursdays and Tuesdays. Always have fun. If you have questions, tech questions, live stream questions, AI questions, any of that stuff, send them to me. Just connect. Just connect on DM, connect in any of the comments. I'm paying attention. And that way I can cover your topic in a future event. Okay? All right. Take care and have a wonderful evening. I'll see you all next time.